Hey everybody, welcome to our special conversation with top leaders. Today, we got a firecracker in the house. She's been a dear friend of mine for a number of years now.
Yeah.
Her name is Jessie Lee Ward. Jessie, say hi to everybody.
Hi everyone, how are you doing? Ciao ragazzi.
Ciao. Now, because you just got back from Italy,
I know.
Now you're going to pretend that you're Italian.
I mean, I've got like 5%, 3%, I think. So
3% Italian.
So
Jessie Lee is a $1 million Hall of Fame member, top earner in her company. She's earning a ridiculous amount of money, helping a lot of people around the world, building in lots of different countries.
Yeah.
Single woman, growing her business, didn't need no man to make it all happen. So I want to talk about your network marketing career. I want to talk about your keys to success. I want to talk about all that stuff. But before
I thought I was going to turn into a millionaire matchmaker for a minute there. I was like, oh my God. But then it didn't. So it's okay. It's fine.
I want to go back to the early days.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Early days. So where'd you grow up? Where were you born?
I was born in Maryland. I grew up in Frederick County, Maryland. So little small country town called Middletown.
Middletown, Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And your parents, what did they do?
My mom was an assistant CEO at the National Academy of Sciences.
Assistant CEO?
Yeah.
How can you be an assistant CEO?
I don't know. It's just what it was. The National Research Council.
All right. So she had government work? I
think it was kind of technically that, but a lot of science and
sciencey.
Yeah, really sciencey, nerdy.
Big brain stuff.
Yeah, she's smart.
And your dad?
And my dad, my childhood's crazy and messed up, and I think that's part of the reason I'm successful. But my dad was a musician, and then my dad was just all over the place, drugs, etc. I love my dad, and we're really good. But I sent my dad to jail when I was 9 years old, actually.
What?
So, yeah. I don't know if I talk about that a lot. So
come on.
We can talk about it. I don't care.
I got to hear this story.
So
you're born into this family.
I was born.
And
came out screaming, my mom said, and never stopped.
Came out screaming, loud child.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me about growing up.
Yeah.
Take me up to 9 years old, and then then we'll go from there.
Cool. So I will just tell you, GoPro has changed my life in a million ways, but I don't think I ever told you this. That first GoPro I ever went to 4 years ago when Tony Robbins was there, the conversation he had with Emily Vavra about her father, I feel that actually with my mom instead of my dad. We'll get into that in a second. But when that whole trade your expectations for appreciation, it hit me like a Mack truck. Because I had all this animosity and, oh my God, why is all this stuff in my life happening? And I kind of bullied my way through business for a lot of my career in network marketing. And obviously you've known me very well the last 4 years. I've shifted completely as a leader. I'm a lot softer. I'm a lot more loving and caring and patient and all this stuff. And really that was a very big defining moment in my life because I realized that all of these things that have happened for me they were all blessings and gifts. So I was born. I have 3 siblings. I have a sister and I have 2 brothers.
Where are you in the?
I'm number 3.
Okay.
My little brother would be so good at network marketing. It makes me sick. Like, oh God, why you just want to shake him? Anyway, but I was number 3. You know what I'm talking about? You have it. You literally could destroy. You could be like me, he's not even little. He's almost 30, but you could be the man version. Come on. But grew up in a really crazy, tumultuous household. There was a lot of domestic violence. There was a lot of my dad, I don't want to justify anything he did. My dad would retaliate in regards to things my mom would do. My mom would say, she wasn't a good wife either. So it was this crazy storm of random people and just, there was no stability at all. And I think that I see it now as a gift because it made me want to go into leadership.
Give me one circumstance that sticks out that defines the whole.
Yeah, I think just knowing the difference between right and wrong. And so I saw my dad get really physical with my mom at one point when I was 9. And that was when I picked up the phone from a neighbor's house and I called and I said, my dad's not supposed to be here.
Were they separated at the time?
They were separated already at the time, yeah. And I saw him throw her against a wall, like a brick wall. And I'm like, oh no, like this is too much. And so I was the one then, and I was a daddy's girl. So if anyone's listening, like I still can do no wrong in my father's eyes. So it was like and then just from then, I talk about my Nana a lot. Like I have the Love Nana tattoo here. My whole leg sleeve is actually a tribute tattoo for her. But my mom was not fit to parent. My dad was not fit to parent, and then in jail. And so when I was 9,
so the police came. You called.
Police came. He went to jail. Yeah.
And he went to jail for
like I think 7 years. Like it was a long time. Yeah. Well, he had a prior record for drugs and stuff of that nature. So
it was like a third strike or something.
I don't know if it was third, maybe second. I don't really know, but yeah. So he was.
So how did
gone.
you feel about that? You make the phone call, all of a sudden dad disappears for 7 years.
Yeah, there was probably, I think part of my why I think is control, like around a lot of different things in my life, and not in a bad way, not like I have to control everything, but more of like I need to be successful because I can see what success can do and the beauty that I can provide to people you care about, because there was none of that. There was no financial stability. I mean, we didn't have enough food to eat growing up. I don't know where the money was going, whether it was drugs, partying, my mom being mismanaged with it. I have no, like, as a kid, you don't know where it's going. You just know you're struggling. You just know your clothes don't fit. You just know you're getting made fun of. You just know you can't go on field trips. You just know all of these struggle. And finally, when I sent my dad to jail was when my grandparents were like, okay, enough's enough. Like, we're swooping in to this. And so my Nana really was basically my mother figure.
So did she take in you and your mom?
So they ended up living 10 minutes away, 5-10 minutes away. So I would take the bus there after school every day. I got really involved in the church then. So every church choir there was, handbell choir, youth choir, adult choir, church services on Wednesday for God knows why, like Saturday, Sunday, like just get Jessie Lee, especially me, because I assumed the role of the leader then. Like I was the one getting even my older brother, out to school. My sister's 9 years older, so she was out of the house. But
was your mom just struggling to cope at the time?
Maybe that. She was also really wild, so she would have men in and out, and it was just like there was no order. And so yeah, we spent a lot of time with my grandparents, which thank God for that, because I don't really know where I'd be without them. So
yeah, and they still alive?
No, my granddaddy passed away in 2015 and Nana in 2017.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. Thanks.
Good legacy though, right?
Yeah, like the best. Yeah. I look just like Nana too, so really, like identical almost. So
I'd love to see the
really
pictures.
Cool. Yeah,
you gotta show me.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this turmoil is going on. Who are you? If people were to describe you at 10 years old, how would they describe you?
First word would probably just be hyperactive. I had so much energy, and I didn't know. Imagine. I didn't know, like, I didn't know where to where to direct it. But where do you
think the energy came from? Was it always?
That's my gift. Like, this is my God-given gift. My problem when I was that age was that I didn't know how to channel it. I didn't know how to focus it, and we didn't have money for sports or anything like that. And so I just wanted to be an achiever. So like as an example, some of my earliest memories are, elementary school when you sit in the little circle or whatever and you read a paragraph. Now you read a paragraph. Now I've read the whole book already. Like if you ever see me read, I read a book a day a lot of the time. I just zing, I don't know why. My brain's just very fast. And so just pouring into academics, trying to make everyone proud, I think was a big thing, probably because of the childhood stuff. And I was loud. I was funny. Like I always tried to be really silly and goofy, which
Were you popular in school?
I had no friends.
Really?
None. Like,
so you threatened the girls, threatened the guys?
No, like I don't even think I was mean or anything. I think I was I think I was too much for a small country town because I was this. So I was really loud. I tried to be funny all the time. I was goofy. I was getting straight A's. And so it was kind of like, what is she doing? But then my clothes didn't fit. My dad was in jail. Everyone knew that. So the adults would say, oh, she's bad. Like, she's got to be bad if her parents aren't even,
really
whatever.
No friends?
Literally, I never, like anyone watching this that's from high school or whatever, middle school, elementary school, I love y'all. It's okay. I don't have any, whatever, bad feelings. Nobody sat with me at lunch, K through 12.
Really?
No one. Which again, I see now as a huge gift because when I went for no in my business, I was like, oh, no, I'm used to this. Okay. It's a no. Okay. It's okay. Like, okay, it's cool. It's fine. No? Okay, cool. No? Okay. Like I didn't have that addiction to yes that so many network marketers have.
Right.
And still to this day, I probably get more no's in a day than 99.9% of the profession because I don't care.
Right.
Like, you don't like me? Okay. I'm too loud for you? Okay.
So it worked for you,
Yeah.
this kind of peer pressure rejection of your style as you showed up. Because most people, in growing up in school, you're trying to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
And you weren't.
No. And like, maybe, there were times I can think of when I would try to fit in, but we didn't have the money to fit in, or I wouldn't have the cool snacks, and I wasn't on any sports teams. I was literally just the smart kid that was like, all right, maybe the teachers will like me. So,
and did they?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. So you got along with teachers.
Yeah. Except for math teachers, but that's because I was never good at math.
So you think maybe you're a little bit of an old soul, talking to and appealing to more grown-up thoughts?
Mm-hmm. Not only that, but I was raised again by a different generation. So I was raised by 80-year-olds instead of being raised by 40 or 50-year-olds or whatever. My grandparents raised me. So I think that has something to do with it. And then
maybe, yeah.
I was always a reader. So we didn't have TV because we didn't have money. But I remember loving like the Boxcar Kids, or I loved the Little House on the Prairie, or I would read, like, so weird, but I think maybe for free we found encyclopedias or something. So I would read like little fun facts, and I was just always trying to read and
collecting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you graduate high school,
Mm-hmm.
Close to the top of your class, I'm guessing. How big was your high school? How big was your class?
It was only like 250.
Okay. So where were you in the
Like at the top, yeah.
Top.
Like maybe 4 or 5.
Okay. I was in the bottom.
I know.
10,
I know.
I don't relate to any of you people. So you leave high school, then what?
I went to college on an academic ride.
Where?
Hunter College, New York City. Trying to get out of the country.
Hunter College. So you go to the big city.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that experience like?
Awesome in a way. I learned how much you can actually do if you apply yourself, because it was so expensive to live there. I had 3 jobs. So I worked in Times Square. I waited tables at Bubba Gum Shrimp Company full time, and like made like stacked cash. Got all kinds of sales tips from that I still apply to this today. I sold massage chairs on Fifth Avenue at a Brookstone and was their #1 seller. And on day 1, I sold, I think, 3 or 4 of them because I found out you would get $400 commission per chair. I'm like, oh, done. Like, you don't even know, you don't need to know nothing about them. You got to make them laugh. You got to read the little pamphlet. It's easy. And then done. And then I was a nanny to 2 little girls out in Queens. And then school.
And going to school.
18.
What were you studying?
Well, I graduated with mass communications and marketing, 2 degrees and 2 minors, women's studies and political science.
2 majors, 2 minors?
Yeah. I was doing 18 on my low semester courses, 21 on my high. Yeah. It costs the same. If you're full-time, you're full-time. I was like, I'm gonna get my money's worth. I didn't even pay for it, which is funny, but like, I was like, oh, no.
All right. So in your taking care of your living expenses with these 3 jobs.
So all I really had, honestly, see, this is why network marketing is in my life, I swear to you, because I was making well over 6 figures as a college student, but I'm not a spender. Like, you know this about me, I think. I'm not a spender. So I was making all this money with these 3 jobs. I had a full ride, so I had no bills for college. And then my dad's a veteran, so I would get the GI Bill. It was like $900 some a month for a check for that too. So not being a spender and saving, I was like, this is great. Like, I just kept watching my savings go up, whatever. And I felt successful in college, and I felt like I had a purpose in college, and I was offered really good jobs in the city, actually, in communications when I graduated, because I graduated summa cum laude, top of my class. And then my grandparents got sick, and I went home right after college graduation. So I ended up in a pathology lab. I ended up as a research assistant, kind of following in my mom's sciencey footsteps. And everyone was so proud of me. She has a good job. She has benefits. Oh. That was like $40,000 a year, like pre-taxes. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, what? A minute. Like, I wasn't being frivolous with my money, but all of a sudden I had to pay rent, which was being covered by my scholarship. All of a sudden I was having to pay for food, which was covered by my scholarship. All of a sudden, I had to get a car. I didn't have a car in New York City. I rode the subway. So I had a car payment. I had insurance. I had all of these things that it's gone. Like, I relate so heavily to the people who are watching this that need $300 a month, because that's what it ended up being for me.
Right.
I joined direct sales in 2011 for $300 a month because my rent was going to increase in the basement I was living in. And I'm like, what?
Right.
I don't have an extra $300 a month. I go a little more broke every 2 weeks, because how do you live off $40,000 in Maryland?
Really
you
tough.
don't.
So I want to back up before we get to network marketing.
Okay.
So while you're going to college,
Yeah.
Where's your dad now?
My dad was out of jail, but my dad was out of my life from 14, because I would talk to him when he was in jail, or we had visitation you had to go to by law or whatever. But from 14 to 22, I never said a word to him. Like, he would send birthday cards,
then you
Christmas cards.
Reconciled or something?
Yeah, like, I think a lot of it was just, I don't know about forgiveness, but I also realized, again, because Nana got sick in particular, I think I realized that life is fragile, and I didn't want to have regrets. And so I just said, look, I'm willing to have like a dinner. We can talk, whatever. And I mean, we have a great relationship now. Same thing, can do no wrong. It's really funny because I flew him, first class, did the whole thing to Dallas. He lives in West Virginia now. Flew him first class to Dallas, and gave him like the crazy Father's Day, just nuts, right? And this is last year, and at that point, I don't even know how many millions I had made in network marketing. And I say this to those of you who are like, oh my gosh, my family's not supportive. Like, this is funny stuff because you know how successful I am. He goes, well, like, when are you going to get a real job? I'm just wondering, like, because is this really stable? Like, Dad, it sounds so crazy right now. But we reconciled, and, we talk.
How about your mom?
My mom and I have a weird relationship. There's a lot there.
During school or whatever, or is it still kind of distant, still more your
we're
grandparents?
Distant, for sure. And it's for a lot of reasons, actually, around my grandparents. And I don't have anything but love for her. I appreciate her bringing me into this world. But there's a lot of alcoholism there. There's a lot of
But you
stuff.
think that this whole thing has ended up being, you've ended up being able to use it to be able to help more people? Yeah,
because I relate. People all the time are saying, oh, you're still relatable. Like, you're still, how can you still talk to us about $300 a month or $50 a month or putting gas in the tank or whatever it is? And I'm like, well, because I remember what that's like. Like, I know what it's like to have a crazy childhood. I know what it's like to be broke. I know what it's like to feel like a failure. I know what it's like for nobody to like you. I know what it's like to feel alone. I know all of those things. And I consciously don't let that feeling go away, because people need to know that if that's where you're living right now, it doesn't have to be your forever. You can change the trajectory of your life, but you have to make the choice to do it.
So you never really found your tribe in high school. Did you find any of your tribe in college?
Not really, but Hunter College is not like a big campus, like maybe
You come and go.
Yeah, you literally go to the center of the city on 68th and Lexington for courses, and you leave. I mean, I have a handful of friends, that I met there, and we still talk. I recruited a couple of them, in my first thing and whatever.
Right.
But it's not a big social, fraternity, sorority kind of college.
So what introduced you? Direct sales was the first introduction, right?
Yeah.
Not really even network marketing.
No, it was direct sales. Yeah.
So that was just Party Plan?
Just Party Plan, and I was just talking about it upstairs. I'm so thankful for it because I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, at all. I didn't know how to run a business. And in Party Plan, I don't know how it is now.
This came out of the $40,000 job.
Yep.
You found this.
And the crazy thing is, I want everyone to talk to everybody. And like I said, I get more no's in a day, I think, than most people do in a year, because nobody asked me. Nobody ever invited me to a party, to a Super Saturday, to a Facebook group, to a whatever. Nothing. Me. Nobody. None of y'all invited me. Like, nobody recruited me. I Googled at-home businesses that make the most money, which is so ironic in 2020 because we have coronavirus. The number one thing that's being Googled is how to make money from home. Like, that's literally what I Googled. And I got corporately sorted. You know how, like, companies sometimes have, oh, if you're a qualified leader, you can get blah, blah. I got dumped under somebody that was in a 20-mile radius of me. who quit 2 months after I joined. And I was number one in the first year in that company. Just ignorance on fire, breaking every rule, didn't read policies and procedures, lots of calls from corporate, like, what are you doing? Oh, sorry, didn't know. But like, crazy. Nobody recruited me.
What were you selling?
It was romance products.
The romance parties.
Yeah.
I remember those. Never been to any.
Oh, yeah. You know, I don't think you're allowed.
Not my deal.
Not, yeah.
All right. So fast forward for me.
Okay.
Fast forward to, what was it? When did you join the company that you're with right now?
34 months ago.
34 months ago.
Yeah.
And we had known each other prior to that for how long?
About 2 years.
About 2 years. And you had, basically a trauma happen with the existing company that you're with. And you found yourself looking for a home inside of this profession.
Yeah.
So talk about that emotional transition and that journey.
Oh, God.
And, because we know what happened as a result of it. I've always been a believer of you and your capacity. And I was never worried about your ability to be able to earn, so long as you found something that you believed in.
Yeah.
Right. So, there's a lot of people out, people listening right now. Many of them have had the rug pulled out from underneath them.
Yeah.
The company that they thought they were loyal to, they weren't loyal back, or maybe they got laid off, or maybe, they got their salary reduced, or their commission cut, or territory cut, or something.
Yeah.
The world's going through a lot of change.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are like, oh, well, man, what am I going to do? And you had that same moment. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Talk about it.
Okay. Trauma is definitely the right word, but I think God has, first of all, an interesting way of humbling you. And second of all, I just think God winks. Like, I know that's not where I was supposed to be. I know I wasn't aligned with the company or any of that. And I have no hard feelings at this point. I know you know that. I have nothing. I express so much gratitude for all of that. And I have a lot of closure there, so I'm fine. So it was a split second, right? I was terminated and I sat there and I'm like, what do you do? Like, do I get a job? Like, when you've made over $200,000 a month, you're like, what job? What do you do? Are there jobs? I don't think there's any. Okay, hold on a second. And I remember looking at my phone and I'm like, no, I have to do something. I have to do something. And I had a text from you actually that was like, just pick up the phone when Lisa calls or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'm like, how do people? Oh, whatever. Who knows? Whatever.
Oh, you called me from the
I know.
office.
I called you. Yeah. I guess I called you. And then Lisa calls me, and I'm like, oh, so something can happen out of this. Something good can come. I can do it again. And I had a conversation with you shortly thereafter. I know you were on a plane to Brazil, and you just said something along the lines of, or maybe it wasn't even a conversation. Maybe I listened to something of yours in GoPro. I don't even know. It's all a blur at this point. But it was something you said about, if you built it, you can build it again.
Yeah, of course.
And I was like, I'm just going to build it again. I'm going to build it again. Like, I could do it. And it was this moment where I'm like, Jesse Lee, you did that. You weren't built. No one gave you a power leg. Nobody gave you a single freaking recruit. Like, go out there and build it again. If you're as good as you seem to think you are at this thing, then shut up and show up. And I ended up very aligned with my company in the sense of, people ask me all the time, what made you join that company? And I say, well, I wanted it to be somewhere where I could be me. I wanted somewhere where I could be the loud, crazy color hair, like when I met you. Still got a little color, but the crazy hair, or the tattoos, or the loud personality, or, the kind of shooting off the cuff on Facebook Live kind of thing, or people being like, what's she going to say next? What's she going to say next? And just being very authentic to myself. And I see how I am as a leader from that experience. And I don't know that I was ever really wild or egotistical or anything like that. But if that were to have happened, it never happened because, I got the ego and all of that just got shut down. I had to learn how to eat humble pie. I had to learn how to build from nothing. I had to learn how to go through lawsuits and feeling like your whole life is turned upside down. And where do you turn? Who can you trust was a big one.
Mhm.
And just realizing that all of this that's happening in your life is happening to set you up for something bigger.
Right.
I think God only takes things out of your life to put better things in your life. And it's not to say that company's good for them. Like I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
This is better for me. This is a much better fit for me. I'm so peaceful
Right.
in what I'm doing. And I think that is shown every day in the way that I work my business, in the way that I know I'm a workaholic. Like I see, because I watch how other people work and then I'm like, you're so addicted to responding or whatever. But I'm so calm about it in a way as well, because it's what I want to do.
Right.
And it feels so good to know that I'm contributing to so many people's lives at such a high level.
So 34 months?
34 months.
34 months. And in 34 months, how big is your distributor team that you've built?
We're just over 11,000 distributors worldwide.
About 11,000 distributors worldwide. How many countries? Bunch of countries?
27.
27 countries. And how many customers in your organization in the last 34 months?
Over 460,000.
460,000. So 11,000 distributors to 460,000 customers.
That's just trackable too. Just trackable back office, because we also have trials. So,
yeah, not counting trials.
Yep.
That is just people who are paid customers in relation in comparison to the distributor. So a huge ratio.
Yeah.
Did you enter your business with a conscious decision to focus on customers? Was that a strategic move?
It might have been you again, you and your brainwashing, for sure. A couple of reasons. I think that when I joined network marketing, which was 2015, I'm so thankful again that I went to that GoPro.
Mm-hmm.
It was right after the crazy FTC psycho whatever happened and you were hitting really hard on stability in business and be compliant and get real customers and da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, customers. And at that point, it's so strange how things happen in your life. But I went into a Louis Vuitton store here in Vegas at that GoPro. And I've done trainings on this now. And I just say it's my Louis Vuitton training. I'm like, why don't we as network marketers treat network marketing like Louis Vuitton? And all I mean by that is when I go into Louis Vuitton, they find out about me. They find out my birthday. They find out what my color scheme is that I like. They find out what I'm there for. They find out who am I shopping for. They find out my phone number, my email address, my name, what I like to be called. Don't call me Jessie, call me Jessie Lee. They ask all of these things. Can I have your address? Can I have all of these things? And do you like sparkling water or still water? Like, because you got Louis shoes on. Like any designer is the same, right? But it just happened to me went to Louis Vuitton. And then it's the attention to detail. It's the way they wrap their boxes. It's the way they tie the bows. It's the way they send me Christmas cards and they send me the catalogs and they email me. And I have the phone number of Louis Vuitton people and they text you photos. Hey, Jessie Lee, are you looking for anything? I know you like the color olive green, da-da-da. What? And even when I don't respond, they don't get mad at me. I ghost them. They don't get pissed off. The next season, they send me orange. The next season, they send me navy blue. And I just tell people, I'm like, be more like that. I don't go to Louis Vuitton and they say, you're looking for a job, Jessie Lee. No, they don't want to recruit me. They want me as a customer and they want me as a customer for life. And so I looked at the stability of that and how people keep going back and back and back and back and back. I'm like, that's obviously where the stability is. I look at the business that I built in my first network marketing company. It is still, from what I understand, the most stable line of business in that whole company. I haven't been there in 3 years. To me, I'm like, I'm happy for those people that are there because that's how network marketing is supposed to be built. Mm-hmm. And I love that we say, oh, I'm building a legacy. I'm building a legacy. I'm building a legacy. This is forever. Then build it forever. Because my customers don't care if you're my upline and I have a problem with you. My customers don't care if the corporate office changes 1% of the compensation plan, 10% of the compensation plan, the whole compensation plan. My customers don't care if there's an acquisition. My customers don't care about anything. They want their product. They want their product. They want their product. They want their product. They want to know if there's a special for them. They want to know if there's a deal. They want to know if there's a favorite flavor. Like, that's all they care about. So I look at businesses that do this pop and drop, pop and drop, pop and drop leadership gap thing, like you talk about all the time. And when you build with real customers, I think you inoculate yourself from a lot of that. Mm-hmm. I think you build a very stable business. I see we're, the profession's in momentum, which is so cool. And I see people ripping and roaring, putting in a bunch of packs and recruits and recruits and recruits and recruits. Our recruits have gone up. Don't misunderstand me. I don't want anyone to twist my language, but our customers have exploded even more. And so I think that it was definitely a conscious decision. And I'm so grateful that that happens to be when I came into the profession, because everyone was terrified in 2015. At least that's what I felt going to my first GoPro. It felt like everyone was scared. Everyone was nervous. Oh gosh, eggshells. And that just, I think, set me up for long-term success in what I'm building instead of a short-term 1 year here, 1 year here, 1 year here kind of MLM jumper thing.
People need to want to buy the product just for the product, not connected to the opportunity.
Yeah.
And most of marketing is getting somebody to try something. So get them to try it. If they like it, they'll keep using it. If they don't like it, they won't.
Yep.
And if you can surprise and delight them, they'll tell their friends.
Yeah. It's easy.
Yeah. So
they're also the best recruits as well.
Sure. The biggest trend that I'm seeing in the world today is build an ocean of customers and recruit from that ocean.
Yep.
Sort through that and be able to upgrade people to distributor from time to time. That's where most of them are coming from in a very healthy way.
Mm-hmm.
Not meaning that you can't join as a distributor with
Right.
a business mindset, but it's a big trend that's happening around the world. Now, you're very system oriented, which I love because I think systems are vitally important. What are the lessons that you've learned that has helped you become more efficient, more productive? And I know we can go 1,000 different directions, but just generally. Start with social media. Social media has really grown up inside network marketing.
Yeah.
What have you learned about social media? How important is it? How much has it helped your organization? Yeah. How does it work?
Yeah. So I will say, first of all, everyone just needs to follow their intuition, because somebody told me very shortly into my network marketing career, no, you need to keep a leg in the old school. Like, you got to be old school with this. I was like, but I really want to build faster, and I think I need social media. And so social media has been, it's my baby. But at the same time, I'm a monster in person, because I built in person for 4.5 years in Party Plan. So I have that double-edged sword, dual threat sort of thing going on. However, social media, in 2015, when live became an option, I went live for over 700 days straight. I mean, messy action, not good, all over the place, scatterbrained, but I got better at public speaking. I got better at prospecting. I got in front of people. It's allowed me to not only build my brand and build my reach and build my personal stage one activity, my own recruiting, my own sales, but it's transformed our team, because as everything shifts and changes, Facebook's not for everyone. Facebook, I'm probably 70% of my income comes from Facebook. Maybe 60 now, maybe 60 Facebook, maybe 35 Instagram, and maybe 5% TikTok. Not even just me personally at this point. So, but it's expanded for so many other people, which is the cool part, because people who are nervous or shy or introverted or whatever it is, and I'm introverted just like you, this is just a business extroverted personality, they're able to just go online, do the thing, prospect, find leads, find groups, do it all systematized. And I've taught that on your stages. I've taught that all over the world. I've taught that on social media. The one thing I love is there's different platforms for different personalities. You can create an alter ego and go online. Boss Lee is not Jessie Lee. You know this on a real level because we're friends. Jessie Lee is soft and actually quiet and feminine and all of these just, gentle characteristics where I'm loving and I'm coming to my house, see my dogs, happy birthday. Oh my God, I love you so much. I'm so grateful. Boss Lee's like, let's go. Like, are you going to screw around in your business? Because a lot of you are screwing around in your business. And it's just this bigger than life personality where but it's very attractive on social. And systematizing that, giving people scripts, giving people daily methods of operation on social media, and then allowing people to find where they thrive. There's a girl, I just called her today because she's enrolling 300 people a month, 300 customers a month on average. She's a monster on TikTok. And I met her in person, and I don't really like Facebook and Instagram. I said, whatever you want to do whatever you want to do. Well, there's this new platform, TikTok. This is back in December when I'm touring. I'm like, I don't know what that is. Okay. I don't know what a TikTok is. What are you talking? TikTok? I'm like, oh God, I'm old. I'm not old at all, but you know what I mean? I'm like, golly. And she's like, well, I'm going to do these. I'm like, you do whatever you want. And then a month later, she earned her car. And I'm like, what the heck is this TikTok thing? So then I'm like, you need to train on TikTok. So now we've got 7 car earners from TikTok alone, including Mexico. I mean, it's like, it's allowing people to find places where they will actually show up. So if somebody on our team goes, I'm not going to do in-person meetings. I'm not going to do phone calls. I'm not going to do da-da-da. I'll do Instagram. Great. I'll do YouTube. Awesome. I'll do Pinterest. Great. I'll do TikTok. Cool. I like Facebook. Awesome. Like, I don't care what they do. It's understanding and recognizing you can build systems around all of it, show people this is what you need to do, and just do it consistently.
As long as you get eyeballs, right?
Get eyeballs. I am a weapon, and coronavirus quarantine has just made me scarier because I'm like, screw it. I have time. I was the person who on day one, it was your mastermind Zoom. You're like, I don't know, guys. I think this is going to be a big thing. And I don't know if you remember me sitting there. I was making faces the whole time. Like, this is not going to be a big thing. Like, he's like, you're like, I think we're going to get locked down. I'm like, we are not getting, in my head, we are not getting locked down. Eric is so wrong. We are not getting quarantined. And then like a week later, I'm like, oh, we're quarantined. And I said, every day I'm going to upload a podcast. Every day I'm going to upload, I'm going to go live. Every day I'm going to be on TikTok. Every day on Instagram. Every day on Facebook. Every single day, YouTube. Every day. I went crazy. And my business as a result because of exposure. And the cool thing is when you're the pace setter, because I know leaders are the ones who watch these kinds of things, be the pace setter for your team because nobody is doing what I'm doing on our team. But there are people that are like, whoa, oh God, she's posting again. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hold on. Oh, geez. Okay, she's on TikTok again. Wait a minute. Another Instagram TV. Are you kidding me? Like, that are like, well, I'm just going to do a fraction of what she does and something's going to happen. And so everything has elevated because of it, but consistency is the key. I don't care how you build your business.
I talked to Alex Morton the other day, and he said the biggest key for him was to document the work ethic.
Yes. I was talking about that upstairs.
Document the work ethic. Document the fact that the Zooms that you're on and the meetings that you're doing and the calls that you're doing and the travel that you're doing. And, and eventually people are going to gain respect for it and they're going to call.
I was a little worried about that too because you know how much I work.
Yeah.
And I thought,
should I show them the real deal?
I'm going to terrify people.
Yeah.
I was really scared to do it. And then there came a day when I either was going to pack trials in my house that I sell, or I was going to do my 9 a.m. live. And I went, I can't, like, I have to do both. And I got on the live and I said, guys, I'm sorry. I know it's tea time with Jessie Lee, and I know you get to ask business questions for an hour, but I have to work as well right now, or this won't get done. And they loved it. They couldn't believe she's the one who's hand wrapping it in the tissue paper. She's the one printing off 1,000 labels. Wait, hold on a second. She's on an iMac. She's on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook all at once. And she's got an iPad to do this. And she has a third phone doing that. What? Oh my God. Like, and then they see all the Zooms. They see all the coaching. They see the one-on-ones. They see all this stuff. And they go, I don't even know what she does, but oh my gosh. And I think sometimes we forget that when you're documenting it, people want to be inspired. People are over the fake stuff in 2020. They're over the people leaning up on somebody else's Lamborghini. They're over the people taking photos in front of somebody else's private jet. They're over somebody saying, oh, I'm sitting in my hammock in my backyard and I made $50,000 last month. Really? Like, really? Is that how you made 50 grand last month? Or did you work your face off? Or did you get super lucky somehow and find 2 leaders who are working their butt off and maybe you really are in a hammock? I don't know. But like, it's the documentation. It really is. And showing people what it really takes. Because when people know what it actually takes, they show up more. In my experience.
It kind of sorts it out. So be consistent, be authentic, bring value. And document the discipline, document the work ethic, show people the work ethic. And I think once you realize that your work ethic inspires people more than it intimidates them. Because most of us stop doing things, or we slow down because a couple people say something. And we're like, oh, they said, I'm a workaholic. Maybe I should. Oh, they say I'm scaring people. Maybe I'm scaring people. But if you learn to ignore those voices and just go for the people you're inspiring, you end up inspiring more.
Yeah. And you'll grow so much faster because there's more people out there that want to be inspired than those haters, than those naysayers, than those people who just don't they're going to say something negative anyway. I always tell people, I'm like, people are going to talk about you anyhow. Give them something good to talk about.
Right.
Do you want them to talk about how you quit and you gave up and all I told you was one of those things?
Yeah.
Or do you want them to be like, what? She went, how did she go to Italy? Wait, she extended her trip 8 times? What does she do? Like, please talk about me.
Right.
But if you're going to talk about me, it's going to be about something huge
that you're doing.
Like,
let's talk about huge.
Yeah, okay.
Let's talk about huge.
Okay.
So the one thing I think there's the only big challenge with people in network marketing is they're thinking too small.
Yeah.
And everybody needs to think bigger.
Mm.
So you've decided to think pretty big.
Yeah.
And because of that, you're getting big results. So what is the extent of your vision? How big can you see? What's possible? What is going to happen at some point in your career? What do you see?
I love this because
what does that vision look like?
I love this so much. So, first of all, everybody just get around people who are better than you, that have more than you. And I'm not saying it so you're greedy, because I don't care if you make the money and give it away. But the fact of the matter is that it's not the money when it comes to successful people. It's the wealth of knowledge. Mm-hmm. It's the life experience. It's who you have to become. Like, if you're taking notes, write that down. Who you have to become to have success. It's not about the money. The money's just a scorecard. And I know successful people say that all the time, but it's so true. Like, there becomes a point when the money looks like Monopoly money. You know, I see the check, I go, that's freaking ridiculous. You know, like, this is crazy. So for me, it's absurd. You know, I remember our conversation.
Don't apologize
in your
for
Rolls
it. I
Royce.
just want to know what it is.
I know. I'm just saying, I remember our conversation where I said, I want to be number 1 in my company. This is 3-4 years ago after Beyond Leadership, 3 years ago in your Rolls Royce. And you're like, that's a really terrible goal. I'm like, what? And you're like, you need to think bigger. I said, okay. And you said, I think that you can be the first female network marketer to make $1 million a month. And I was in the backseat of your car, like full body, like, oh God. And so I went on then, you know, I don't even know how accurate the website is, but it said somebody told me Holton made 1.4 million in a month, and it was documented. And I'm like, then I'm going to beat his record. And Holton called me last July, and on the phone, I told him, I was like, just so you know, I'm going to destroy your record. Like, it won't be in one of those crypto deals. I'm going to destroy your $1.4 million monthly record. I just wanted to tell you. And he's like, oh, it's like that. I was like, it's like that. I just wanted to let you know, like, I respect you so much, but like, I am coming for you. And so that's for sure. And I know in my mind that I have, and I love buildings, and this is not anywhere in the near future, but I know I have the ability to be a CEO in the network marketing space. And it's because I love leading everybody. Mm-hmm. I love the bigger vision. I love all, and it's nowhere. I mean, I'll build for, I don't know. I love building. Like, I'm addicted to recruiting and selling and all that stuff too.
Right.
But that leadership side and that development of leaders is really where my passion gets fueled. When I see somebody who feels so bent, they feel broken. I'm like, no, borrow my belief. I have so much belief in you. Just take it from me for a couple months until you believe it in yourself, and let's do this thing. And then rising those leaders up, which that's my jam. So for sure, 1.4 a month will definitely happen. I do believe I'm in the right vehicle to do it, especially at the pace I'm building at. I know you know how much I'm currently earning, and we have not hit momentum. We've had some good little jinks here and there, but we are not at the stage where people who don't deserve to make money are making money yet.
Right.
And so that is definitely on my radar.
How do you keep your energy?
I swear it's my God-given gift. Like, I could get
do you
2
get
hours
tired?
of sleep. No.
Do you need time to like go have some alone time?
Yeah, that's for sure.
You need alone time, stare at the wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot
so
of
you
that.
pull away from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you're engaged with other people, connected to other people, then it's a natural thing.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's like an actual energy. Like, I'll give it to them, and then when I give it to them, I get it back. It's like a weird sort of, I don't know enough about quantum physics to know actually what's going on, but like, there's something going on where I can pull it from I don't know where. And even in Italy, I think in Italy I was averaging, like, I have this little biometric ring thing or whatever, and it tells me I was averaging 3.5 hours of sleep a night. and I'd be on every day, just non-stop. And people are like,
Do you think that's
what?
your superpower, the energy?
Yeah.
The energy thing.
I've never met anybody that's
You're like energy girl.
Yeah.
Like if you had a cape, that was what it would say on the back. Energy girl.
Sure, I like it.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you some. We've been going a while. Let me give some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
What's your favorite thing about network marketing?
That anybody can achieve. It doesn't matter what your background is, doesn't matter your race, doesn't matter your gender, doesn't matter anything. If you're going to work hard and you're going to show up and you're going to do it consistently, you will win.
What's your least favorite thing?
What people think about it when they just don't understand it.
Just the judgment.
Drives me crazy. Like, you have no idea what you're talking about. I could punch you right now if I were a violent not you. I'm like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Like, you are so stupid. You're so stupid. Those people.
Or you just think that in your mind and then you try to educate them.
I usually make a face like.
What's your biggest challenge? What has been your biggest challenge in the last 5 years?
It's changed a lot. So 5 years ago when we first met, my biggest challenge was developing the leaders, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That is not my biggest challenge anymore. I think my biggest challenge now is probably biggest challenge now. I really want to give you a good answer. I have to think. Current biggest challenge for sure is wanting to control a lot more that's not in your control. Because when you become number one in a company, you're the closest to the company, but you're still not the company.
Mm-hmm.
And people tend to think you are the company, and having to understand you're going to get screamed at and you're going to get yelled at and you're going to get told, bah, but you still can't fix those things. That's a challenge for sure.
What are you most proud of last 5 years?
My most proud moment that I loved was we put on huge team events, which in and of itself is just my most proud, oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. Team 11,000 people. We have over 5,000 tickets sold to our next. I mean, that's it's absurd. I'm like, oh my gosh. But at our first big event that we did just as a team, they were collecting B-roll without me knowing the whole weekend. People saying, describe Jessie Lee and how has she helped you as a leader and all this stuff. And then they overlaid videos of me loving on people's kids and just me being me. And they played this video in front of the whole event. And I was just like, because when you're working as much as you are and you're just being who you are, what your character is, not your reputation, what your character is, I think sometimes you forget. You forget what it actually took to build the business. You forget what you really did, how much you loved people, how much you cared about people, how much you just poured and poured and poured. And so seeing that and realizing just how proud I was making myself when nobody's watching was really cool.
Has profession ever made you cry?
I cry all the time. I am a
Really?
crybaby.
Yeah?
Yeah, constantly.
Happy cry, emotional, upset cry?
Everything. I'm a crier when I'm angry, happy, sad, everything. But I cry when people rank advance every time.
Mm-hmm.
Every time it's a big rank advancement. It doesn't have to be a huge one either, just a big one.
Right.
Or somebody whose story I know and they've really struggled. I've cried when I've been pissed. I cried when I was terminated. I cried when I joined the company. I had to start from zero. I cried when I went to the first event of the new company and I was already a big leadership rank. And then for 18 months, our CEO wouldn't put me on stage because he thought I was still a wild card. I cried. I'm like, I've earned it. I'm top rank. I cry all the time. I cry. Yeah, I'm a crier. It's okay.
It's okay. If you weren't in network marketing, what would you be doing?
I wouldn't have stayed in the pathology lab. It was terrible.
You've been selling something.
Yeah, for sure. Probably real estate. I was going to get a real estate license at some point.
Okay. Are you a reader?
Yeah. I read a book a day a lot of the time.
So give me a handful of books that come to mind that have helped your network marketing career.
Okay, I got a big old list. But it's interesting because I think in the journey and the stage I'm in right now, a book that will help a lot of your followers and listeners is actually not really a network marketing book, but it's one of the biggest weaknesses I see right now in network marketing, which is stepping into your actual power and who you're supposed to be and not apologizing for it. So many of these people could be so powerful if they would stop apologizing for who they freaking are. You're supposed to be you. You're supposed to be dynamic and loud or whatever. You can be quiet if you're a quiet person, but just be you. And so I read Untamed by Glennon Doyle in 3 hours, just cover to cover. Unbelievable. So good. It'll change you. I promise. Untamed.
By Glennon Doyle. Okay.
Unbelievable. So good. But anyway, network marketing in general, let's see. Great books. I love Be Obsessed or Be Average. I love The Soulful Art of Persuasion, which is like Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, but it's like a 2019-2020 version. I love The Slight Edge. I love, oh my gosh, I have so many books. I'm a book person. Anything John Maxwell, really, 21 Irrefutable Laws, 9, whatever. He's got so many numbers. Just read any of his books. They're all good. GoPro. Everyone should read GoPro. I love... Oh, okay. Really great book that I just finished. Again, read it in a day. Pat Flynn, Superfans, especially if you're somebody who's trying to build on social media. Unbelievable book. So Superfans, I just read cover to cover in like a day as well. The Checklist Manifesto is great for network marketing as well. Shows you exactly how to schedule your day out and do what you need to do. Tiny Habits, great book. BJ Fogg, I think that is. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to like see covers. You know,
I get it.
But I am.
It's a pretty good list.
I mean, I could give you a million.
Do you have a mission statement or a motto or something that defines you? Any kind of thing? Are you definable?
I think I'm passion personified, just as a person. But I don't know if I have a motto.
Passion personified.
Yeah, like
that's fine.
When I think of passion, or when people think of passion,
any mission statement? You know that what you're here to do.
No, but I should come up with one. I like that idea.
Yeah. Just curious.
I'll come up with one. It'll be really good.
Curious.
I'll have it for the next GoPro.
Last question. Well, first of all, before I get to the last question.
Yeah.
You're a member of the Next Level Mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
This powerful group sharing ideas on how to do better.
Yeah.
And you've been to GoPro for the last 5 years, right? Mm-hmm. Tell me about GoPro and what that experience is and the value you've gotten from it and if you recommend it for other people.
So I was just texting a friend of mine this afternoon. He's not at all involved in network marketing, but he's super successful. And I was telling him, whose house I'm at. He's like, oh, I don't know him. I'm sending him all your stuff. I'm like, how do you not know him? Oh my gosh, I'm offended. Like, I don't know if our friendship can last. Not us, him. No, I'm kidding. He's great. But I was like, you have to check this guy out. I said, he has changed my life. Like, just if I were to document all of the different, like I couldn't, it would not even be possible. And so like you and I could be mortal enemies tomorrow and I would still have like next level gratitude. I know, but so like just, I went to that event 5 years ago for the first time and my life was changed in the first 4 minutes when you're like, stand up if you're making this much money, stay standing, because I'm thinking I'm hot, whatever, because of the amount of money I was making. And next thing I know, I'm in the back of the room, $100 million Jeffrey Barry standing there. I'm thinking to myself, I just need to shut up and listen to whatever he says, because I didn't know who you were either. And so from that moment, it's like, I can't even tell you how many defining. I mean, one after the other. The mastermind in of itself just, you said something about me I don't know when you said it, you're like, you are just one of the best in the world at you can sift and sort what's going to work for you and what's not. And then when you hear it, you implement it. You don't think, oh, maybe I'll do it next week. So like I'm addicted to the mastermind because I'll sit there. Yep. And then by the time the night's up, like I've already implemented 2 or 3 things every single week. And so, but GoPro, I just think people need to get around people, again, who expand their vision, people who you can see it's possible. I think one of the strongest things about GoPro is you have such a diverse range of people on the stage. And so you've got every walk of life, every, whatever. And so you might look at someone on stage that is $1 million earner because they've got the pin or they've walked on stage for the trophy or something. And you might see them and think that person makes $1 million. Because I know I don't look like I look like, I don't know what, I know I don't. Like, I think my neighbors, because I live in a very nice country club, I think they thought for a while for sure that I was like a drug dealer or something. They're like, that's the new drug dealer. I'm like, no. I know it's powder I sell, but it's not, okay? But, you see somebody maybe like me or that's loud and that's a little wild and maybe young and whatever, tattoos and just different. And you might think, oh, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And I had that moment after moment after moment when you see someone on stage who is a millionaire and they're shaking, they're nervous. And you're like, wait a minute, if they're nervous, I can be nervous and I can do it. And then just the amount of notes. I have more, like, oh my gosh, like the insane amounts of notes that and I'm an implementer. So if you're going to go and do it and understand that this profession is just, it's one of a kind.
I learned a long time ago, here's how I identify if somebody's going to do it, is if I give them something to do that will help them and they do it.
Yeah, how about that?
And it's rarer than you think.
I know.
A lot of people are big talkers, but they're not big doers. So when I give somebody, say, I know I got something, they bring it back and say, okay, I did it. What's next?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
We got something.
They just separated themselves from the crowd. Now it's time to be able to see what they're willing to do if I push them. It's the reason why when somebody said, if you hadn't already exhibited that when you're sitting in my car saying, I want to be number one with my company, I might say congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
But since you'd already stepped forward and exhibited it, I was like, no.
Yeah.
Just because they're playing small doesn't mean if you're one step ahead of them, then that's an accomplishment for you.
Sure.
You got to go to another level. So anyway.
That even mastermind, like as an example from something I learned, you said something like that on a mastermind call you had Fraser on as well.
Mm-hmm.
And when you taught us about the ManyChat bots
Mm-hmm.
or whatever
Simple
a year ago
things.
now, that week I built the bot.
Yep.
And then, like you just said, I mean, it's step by step. They have to come to us for passwords.
Mm-hmm.
And for me as a leader to go, we got a live one. I mean, it's changed the whole business.
Yep. It's way to sort. All right. Last question. This has been great.
I love this. It's so fun.
A lot of people would like to have what you have. A lot of people would like to have success, however it looks like for them, whatever their personality, whatever their energy level, whatever their background experience. Some people say, how can I be successful? Because I grew up successful and I had a loving family, and so I was never driven to succeed. And other people say, how can I be successful? Because I didn't have a loving family and it was super dysfunctional. And how can you expect me to succeed?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever the excuse is from your upbringing, past, or whatever, everybody's got their own limiting belief if they want to accept it, or they can change the meaning and trade their expectation for appreciation, right?
Sure.
So what advice do you have for people as we kind of close this out? What advice do you have for the people who really want to have success, whatever success means for them?
Sure. The first thing I would say is that whether you think you can or cannot, you're right. So if you want to blame your past, go ahead. It's going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And as soon as you can understand that, hopefully then you can move forward and choose to be successful or choose to do more or be more or have more, whatever. The second thing I would say is define success for you. Because as successful as we may be monetarily or whatever it is, for me, success is joy. Success is loving what I'm doing in my life. And as crazy as 2020 has been, this has been the happiest, most joyful year of my life because I said, I'm going to start saying, yeah, sure. If anyone who follows me knows I've been putting this everywhere. I've been saying, yeah, sure to things I have said no to and no to and no to and no to and no to my whole life. And it's amazing how my business is exploding as well because I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to stop trying to make everybody else happy and I'm going to work on making Jessie Lee happy. I'm going to chase joy instead of chasing the money. And I think more people need to do that. More people need to say, this company makes me happy. I'm going all in, even if my dad says I'm crazy. More people need to say, this product makes me happy. Okay, you want to go quit and do whatever? That's fine. I'm happy. More people need to say, I'm sorry, honey. I know it's weird that I'm on my phone for 7 hours a day, but it's making me happy and it's making me have shoe money and it's making me be able to take our family on vacations and whatever. I'm going to keep doing it. People need to follow their own path and just trust their intuition. So many people these days, they're listening all the time instead of understanding, like, process it in your body. What does it feel like to you when you say no to something you know you want to say yes to? Or when you say yes to something you know you want to say no to? And do more of the things that you want to say yes to. I got a message from Daniela like 7 days ago. Hey, can you come to Vegas and film? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
I know I love you. Like, I know I would want to be here. I know being in this studio makes me go, shut your face, Jessie Lee. Yeah, sure. I don't know why you need this, but you definitely need this. It just makes me happy. It makes me joyful. It makes me feel fulfilled. And so you need to follow that energy in your body. You mentioned my energy. Well, I'm only doing things that make me happy. Everyone feels it. When you're around people that bring you down, maybe you leave that conversation. When you're around people who build you up, get on the Zoom call with the people who are, you know what, I am brainwashing you. You're right. I tell our team this all the time. When someone goes, well, my husband says that you're brainwashing me. I'm like, tell your husband he's right.
Yep.
I am absolutely brainwashing you. Because 6 days out of the week, it's crap, 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 crap. People are negative, toxic, broke-minded, all this stuff. People are out there taking advice from people whose bank accounts look like emergency phone numbers, okay? So yes, you're gonna get on my Zoom for 45 minutes to an hour, and I'm going to take out a mop and I'm going to wash your brain. Because somebody needs to do it, or else you're going to walk through life and hate so many things about your life instead of having a beautiful life that makes you feel successful, that makes you feel joyful. And like I said earlier when we were chatting, I don't care if you don't want the money. Give it away. I am so serious about that. Give it away. Give it away. Give it away. But you need to have success so you can change who you are as a person. So you can change your local community, so you can change your greater community, so you can change the world. Because the world is not going to get changed by you playing small. Your life is not going to get changed by you playing small. So if you want to be successful, find out what that is for you and double down on those strengths. I'm not a double down on your weaknesses kind of girl, okay? Double down on your strengths and go all in, because it is your choice to go pro. It is your choice to say, I deserve more. It is your choice to say, I deserve more happiness and fun and abundance in my life. But you've got to make that choice, and you've got to decide if you do that today, if today's going to be day one or one day. And I'm telling you, make it your day one. Your whole life will change.
Jessie Lee,
Yes.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And thank you for your contribution to our profession in the last 5 years. The next 5, 10, 15, 20 are just going to be epic, life-changing. We'll be able to look back at this and say, remember when you were just 5 years in and you're just a baby and what you were going to do? And then you went out and continued to change the world. Thank you for your contribution. It's going to be great.
Thanks for having me. I love this so much, and you've changed my life in so many ways.
Oh, we're doing it together. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been our conversation with the one and the only Jessie Lee Ward. Hope you got value. If you did, share it with somebody else. And we'll see you next time.